Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, a very interesting story. On Saturday, a group of about 1,000 soldiers that belongs to the South Sudan Opposition Alliance in Akobo County of Jonglei State have defected from the coalition, and they have decided to join the South Sudan Liberation Army of Movement in Opposition, the SPLM, and that was on Saturday in Akobo County. Now, in this video, I want us to talk about that incident that happened where the defection was declared by the commander that actually led or who leads these forces. But before we continue with this video, if this is your first time watching a video in this channel, please subscribe, hit on the notification button, like, comment, and if the videos interest you, of course, share with your audience and your colleagues. It's a way of supporting this channel to grow, and when it grows, it motivates us to make more videos back to back. For those who've been supporting us, thank you so much. We are so much grateful and continue doing so. Now, as I said, on Saturday, a group of about 1,000 soldiers that belongs to the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, a coalition of political parties, have decided to join the South Sudan Liberation Army or Movement in Opposition, the SPLM. And that defection was declared on Saturday in Akobo County during a rally that was organized by, I think, the grade 3 brigade that belongs to the opposition. And during that rally, it brought about so many different military personnel, the police, the National Security Service, that belongs to the opposition parties. And it was during that rally that a commander that actually oversees or that commands the South Sudan Opposition Alliance forces in the greater Lower Nuer area declared the statement of defection. And he said he, together with the forces, are now going to join the SPLM. And the commander is called Brigadier General Mach Dak, Banang, who commands the South Sudan People's, the South Sudan Opposition Alliance in the Lower Nuer area. And just to give you a context, for those of you who might not understand the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, this is a coalition of political parties that was formed in 2018 during the peace agreement or the peace deal that was made in Addis Ababa. So during that time, there were, of course, so many other political parties that do not belong to the major opposition party that was the South Sudan Liberation Movement in Opposition. So these opposition parties, they oppose the government of President Kiir, but they don't belong to the SPLM. So in 2018, they made a coalition of their parties and they became part of the peace agreement, the peace deal that was made in 2018. They became a signatory, and as a result, they were meant to be part of that peace deal, the sharing deal. And as we speak now, the South Sudan Opposition Alliance have some support in the government. They have some ministerial positions, they have some gubernatorial positions, but also they have one person who is actually a vice president, and that person right now is Josephine Lagu, who is the vice president for the service cluster. She belongs to one of the parties that is part of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance. So on Saturday, the group of about 1,000 people, 1,000 fighters that belong to that coalition have declared their allegiance to the South Sudan Liberation Movement or Army in Opposition. And the reason why they have decided to join the SPLM is because, one, the commander said that we all know that recently, I think late last month in December, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, that is Hassan Abdalbagi, made a press statement where he said that he has handed over the forces that belong to the South Sudan Opposition Alliance to President Kiir for integration into the South Sudan People's Defense Forces. And that statement was received by, different feelings from those who are part of the coalition, because there's some of them who don't actually buy the idea of them handing over the party or the forces of the coalition to President Kiir and to be integrated into the South Sudan People's Defense Forces. And the reason why the commander of the 1,000 soldiers who defected to SPLM, that is Brigadier General Mach Dak Banang, he said that the commanders, the grassroots commanders in the Low Nuer area for the South Sudan Opposition Alliance forces, they are not in agreement with the decision taken by the likes of Hassan Abdel Baghi, that the forces of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance should be integrated into the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, and that these forces should be under the commandership of His Excellency President Salva Kiir. And the reasons why they say they don't like it, it's because there is a deliberate move by the SPLM government to actually violate the peace agreement. Not once, not twice, but over and over again, the government has deliberately tried to shut down the peace agreement, and they are not implementing it. And for that reason, they are not going to be part of the South Sudan People's Defense Forces and under the commandership of President Salva Kiir. But also, they say that the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, in many cases, are still attacking civilians. They are carrying out attacks on civilians, and for that reason, they're not going to be part of the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, but they are rather going to be under now the South Sudan People's Liberation Army in opposition, the SPLM. That is a very, very interesting move that we are likely to see happen. I mean, its impact in the next few days, because it was during that rally in Akobo County of Jonglei State where the forces defected to the SPLM. There was one of the general called, I think, Torgarang, who was actually trying to stir up some kind of inspiration. He was trying to inspire the soldiers and say they are heading towards Juba, and that the people that they will meet along the way should not attack them, and that they are not going to be attacking civilians whatsoever. Their aim is to reach Juba. So, and I think that the forces that have actually defected from this South Sudan Opposition Alliance to the South Sudan Liberation Army in opposition are going to maybe just make the opposition, the South Sudan People Liberation Army, more stronger and stronger. And but let's see what is going to happen in the next few days after this defection. And I believe this is a very huge defection. 1,000 forces have joined the SPLM from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, and I feel that this is a very big blow on the coalition. And yeah, but as I say, that this coalition, of course, is comprises of so many other political parties. We have the National Democratic Movement that is commanded by none other than Lamakola Jawin, the National Salvation Front, the NAS of Thomas Cirillo, the Federal Democratic Party of Gabriel Changson, and we have the South Sudan Patriotic Movement that is under Castillo, but then at some point Hassan Abdel Baghi claimed to be in control over it. We have the other party that is under the leadership of Joseph Lago, the Vice President for Service Cluster, and other more smaller political parties. These political parties all came together and formed the South Sudan Opposition Alliance. And the forces that defected to the SPLM, I believe, are forces that belongs to all these political parties, maybe a little bit from each political party that have actually defected, and they are 1,000 in number or so, and they have decided to join the South Sudan Liberation Army or movement in opposition. Very interesting move, but let's see what is going to unfold in the next few days. So thank you so much. This is my take on the defection on Saturday that was declared by the Brigadier General Mach Dak Banang, who is a commander of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance forces in Greater Low Nuer area. He has decided to join the South Sudan Liberation Army or movement in opposition. Very interesting move there. But thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. But before we close this episode, I want us to leave us with a business. On our business section for today, are you a South Sudanese parent living in Uganda who desires to preserve your child's national identity, cultural values, and academic continuity without sending them back to South Sudan? Then worry no more. Excel International School proudly offers South Sudanese families in Uganda the opportunity to access the South Sudan national curriculum in a secure, nurturing, and academically enriching environment right in Uganda. As you pursue stability and opportunity in Uganda, your children can continue their education seamlessly following the South Sudan syllabus, guided by qualified, experienced teachers who understand both the academic standards and cultural foundations of South Sudan. At Excel, they deliver genuine South Sudan curriculum, strong moral and academic foundation, experienced and culturally grounded educators, safe and supporting learning environment, and convenient campuses both in Kampala and Arua. For the Kampala campus, they are located at Zambia opposite the American Embassy, or you can contact the principal at 077-168-2831 or 074-2288-712. And the Arua campus is located at Adalafu in Arua City, or you can contact the management at 077-3498-768. Admission for the 2026 and registration for the 2026 academic year is ongoing. Parents are encouraged to register early as places are limited. Give your children an education that connects them to home, heritage, and hope without borders. Excel International School. Fear God to excel.